G'day guys, it's Calvin from the Cartoon Company. It's not really the best time of the day to be making videos, but I've got a engine here ready and we're going to do some setup on a Link ECU. I'm also going to break it down into several different videos to make it really easy for everyone to understand, well hopefully, and trying to keep them quite short and to the point for each separate video. There will also be more of these videos coming on setup of the Link, so hopefully by going through each one I'll be able to cover all the main topics. Some stuff might be repeated, so bear with me. So very quickly, wiring loom, Lexus of course, early one. It's not quite a normal loom, they never are, they're always a little bit different, but in braid, individual coils, sequential injection, running a G4 Extreme. It's actually off to Australia. And I have not run this engine yet. So we're actually going to go through the real setup of this engine. Let's have a very quick look at the loom. Some braid, 3UZ coils. I have not plugged in the injector plugs. The injectors are not plugged in. The coils aren't plugged in properly. We could be testing on them. Standard throttle body. Water temp sensors is a new Bosch one. Earths are on the back with a Link map sensor. We'll be calibrating that in one of the videos. Over to the computer, which is sitting there, and relays and fuses are sitting on there. As you can see that, so that's the front of the car, that's the firewall, so we get a bit of an idea. No exhaust, so it's going to be loud, not ideal. So I have done a full video on the wiring of this one. Hopefully I'll get time to edit it. There is more aftermarket information coming and I'll break it down much further in the future. So the first test we're going to do today is an ignition test. So let's communicate with that ECU and check some spark. So I've got my communication cable, plugged it into the USB port on the Extreme. It's also the one with the little orange rubber band on it. And we turn on the ignition to the ECU. This one has a little relay feeding power to the ECU, so it's a nice clean signal. And as I said, at the moment, coils, injectors aren't plugged in. So I'm just going to turn the ignition on, which happens to be this one. We'll hear it click. That's the relay clicking. That's good. I'm opening up the G4 software. So this is G4, not G4 Plus. And as we go in, here we go, G4. I'm going to connect to the ECU. I don't have it to connect automatically. I like to connect it manually. So connect ECU, and hopefully we go in. We have got the little green online up here. There's some fault codes, probably because I haven't plugged stuff in. Interesting enough, we actually have air temp, but I'd put a resistor in for that. So I'm just going to do a little bit of setup before we get into doing those coils. Actually thinking about it, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm going to do a setup. We're going to do the initial setup, then we'll do coils, then we'll do injectors. So I've got the ECU powered up. I'm going to start working through the fault codes. And it'll have fault codes because I haven't plugged it in. That was the purpose of doing it this way. So we're just going to put this up here. So we have an engine temp fault code. So we come over here. Here's the engine temp sensor. So the single wire one is for the gauge. And on this particular vehicle, it comes over to this plug here. It's got H2O written on it, little purple wire. So that's the gauge wiring. But the one for the ECU is the one we want to know about. So I'm going to plug that in. And over here at the ECU, we're going to go into the analog inputs, engine coolant temp. It is on analog temp 1. It's a standard Bosch NTC, which is what it is. And we're going to check down here. It's saying that it's at 15 degrees. So that's probably about right. And I'm just going to go up here and clear fault codes. Clear ECU fault codes. And that got rid of the AN temp, but we've still got some other fault codes in here. Next, we're actually going to look at the air temp, which is here, 63 degrees. So if we come over here to the engine, the air temp is going to be mounted in the throttle body. It's a Delphi unit, and I'm just going to, I've just put a resistor in. The sensor was not sent to me. So I'm just going to adjust the temperature. It's probably a bit far. $34. My resistor's wheel's a little bit funny. Oh, there we go. So we'll just have a very quick look at this, and we go AN temp 2. It's actually set as a Bosch NTC anyway, so that will need to be checked once it goes onto the vehicle. So I will look at building up a jumper for that air intake sensor. Right, temp 3 and temp 4 are turned off. We have a TPS setting, AN volt 1. We're going to slide that into place. So we now have a TPS in place. Again, we're going to clear those fault codes. Clear ECU fault codes, yes. We've got AN volt 6 is left as a fault. We'll just go down to AN volt 6. I'm going to put that in as a wideband. I'm just having a look here at the original file that was in this computer, and you'll see here AN volt 6 was turned off. I've made a change in here to make it a wideband. For the moment, I am just going to turn that back off. And I'm also going to do a save as. We just put the file in. So we've saved it, so we're not going to write over the original one. And if I go clear now, I'm going to, that should hopefully, so I now have no fault codes left. So that's a good step forward. So I've got rid of the fault codes. I'm ready to make some other adjustments. We will also just go up in here. We're going to go tuning. We're going to go runtime values here. I'm going to go along to the triggers. What I want to see here is that it actually registers a trigger setup. So we'll just fire some voltage into the starter, and we're going to watch that screen. Oh, it actually dropped off. Let's try that again. When you make a change and you need to store to the ECU, there's store to ECU. Right, let's crank some voltage. Oh, I'm going to tuning, runtime, and we'll see if it's got signal 1 and signal 2, and it generates an engine speed. I need more voltage. My battery's getting flat. So you saw when I went to crank it, it went offline. Simply because I don't have enough voltage happening. I'm going to get some more voltage and we'll be back in just a moment. Righto. So I've got some more battery voltage happening. Got the car brought in. Ignition is connected. We're online. We're watching for the trigger signal here and an RPM signal here. So we can see we're getting good RPM, 200 RPM. And another thing I'm just going to do is I've entered a start signal. I've wired a start signal into the ECU. So we're going to change that. Put that over here on one of the digitals. So I'm going to the digital inputs. And this was really weird because it was like they'd used the VVTI map to start with. So there's still bits of that in there, which makes sense. If it was a VVTI, but it isn't a VVTI. So I've just got rid of those. Let's look at my paperwork. I wired a start input onto DI2. So we're going to go down to start input, start position on, and it's on a high. So we've got the digitals here as well because I'm in the configuration screen. So we're looking there, start. When I crank it, that should say on. It isn't. Aha. The problem being, I've put it on digital 3. This is actually going to be a GP. We'll come back to that in a minute. We'll go to GP3, we'll go to DI3 and we'll put the start input in. Start position this time, and someone's had DI3 on in the past, so you've got to watch that. We're going to put it on to high. That looks better. We'll store that to the ECU right there. This time we'll check whether it gets a start input. And you'll see the fuel pump and the tacho also start going when it gets cranking. That's cool. That's good. Going back to digital 2, DI2, I've put in a closed throttle in there. So I've just turned the pull up on now. This was a bit funny on the G4s. So I'm just going to make it a general purpose input with the pull up on, and you can see it's changing. The reason I wire in that idle switch, and it doesn't work on the G4s as an idle switch, don't worry about that. I just put it as a general purpose input and it works fine. Not sure about the G4 Plus right off the top of my head, but again, if it doesn't work on the G4 Plus, you can label them, so you can write it as the idle switch. I've got a feeling sometimes they don't work either. That allows me, if you wanted to change timing maps at idle, you can do that. So that's why I do it that way. Just something that I do, not strictly necessary. It's just a choice that I make. The start input, I use that for the cold start and for tuning cold start. So you can do a pre-start prime. So you can prime it when it sees the start signal, which I prefer. By me wiring it in there, the tuner in Australia will be able to set that up if required. And if starting is an issue, that can be one of the parameters which can be changed. Right, next we're going to calibrate the throttle position sensor and the map sensor. And I'm going to check the ignitions. I've got trigger inputs. So I'm going to do a separate video on calibrating the TPS. It'll be a real quick one. And on the map sensor and then the coils and injectors. So hope that was helpful on some basics on setting up the computer. More to come, breaking it down, trying to make it real simple. Hopefully I'm not going too fast with using this software because I do tend to crank along fairly quickly. So, hope that was helpful. We'll talk to you again soon.